Live from Windhoek. As you know that on Friday this country will witness the inauguration of the first woman president in this country, and I think for the region quite an achievement in the sense that now the region, the SADC region, will have two women president. You know that in Tanzania we have a woman president, and now it is Namibia. It comes at a critical time, 30 years since the Beijing, and I think women in the region will be looking at what's happening in Namibia and saying that if Namibia can do it, all other countries can do the same, not only in the region but on the continent and around the world. I am going to be in conversation with President-elect. Madam President, in advance, congratulations. Your leadership comes at a very critical time where women have been making noise to say that women must be considered for positions. But it's not about women, it's about ability and leadership. Just in short, if you were to share your story in terms of your involvement in politics.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, every time at a given point is always critical. You might say this is a critical time, but I believe the pioneers like Mem Helen Johnson Sirleaf, those were critical time because there was nothing to refer to. And she did a commendable job. And this is telling us that the whole issue is not women, it's individuals who are given a responsibility by their nationals. And this is very important for people to understand. Yes, we know the history, we know the culture, which is still persisting, that does not see a place for a woman to play a significant or a prominent role in the public life. But when those who came first started, such a belief is dispelled. And I think now the societies, which is made up of both men and women, have to accept that there was a problem whereby societies were denying themselves the brain and the mind of one part of their society. And that is why now there is a high consciousness on the role both men and women can play in society. And we should not really make a mistake to be always, whenever a woman is in a position of authority, the emphasis should not always be said, a woman, a woman. Of course, it's a good thing that we are breaking the ceiling, we are breaking the walls, and we need to put it in the minds of our people that that's how it should be. That you look at the merit of a particular person and give that person a responsibility, because the history and culture never even bother to look at the merit and the capability of a woman. It was just condemned there. And this now has been proven to be wrong. And women, they have now to drive it And by driving it, they should not make it only their case, but it must be made a national, a regional, continental, and international. And that's why you see now, you'll find even at the AU level, you have women envoys for the chairperson, or women envoys at the UN on behalf of the Secretary General. And this is exactly what the world should look like, and not to remain in such confinements when one part of the society is condemned to backseat responsibilities.
Let's look at Namibia. There are challenges. I was here during elections. People would want to see action. What will be your priority?
You know, my priority has been advanced by SWAPO Party, who has identified me to be a candidate and promoted me and finally elected by the majority of the Namibian people. I will not have my own priority, but the priorities are already identified by SWAPO Party in the SWAPO Party election manifesto. And SWAPO Party leadership even went further and developed the implementation plan for the SWAPO election manifesto. And that is the one which is going to guide me. And work has even already started, because according to that plan, Namibia being highly regulated, it was discovered that some of the laws are a stumbling block in the implementation of the plan and the implementation of the election manifesto. And already actions have been taken that some of the laws are already amended by the outgoing parliament to enable the party to start implementing the manifesto immediately when we go to our financial year, which starts in April. One of the challenges we are facing in this country is that we have many of our learners, students in particular, who some of them have qualification, but they don't have employment. Some of them could not finish their studies, maybe for many reasons, including finances. And that is why it's one of the issues that we have to look at to ensure that a Namibian child should not be prevented to continue his or her studies because of no capacity for his or her family for that child to continue. And that's why before the end of this parliament, which is ending today, we have made it a point, having directed by the SWAPO election manifesto, to amend the act that established the student financial assistance so that it can address the real problems. We have the challenge of unemployment. Again, in our manifesto, we have identified the areas where jobs can be created. Agriculture is one of them. The fishing industry is one of them. The creative industry, the sports industry. So those are the priorities. And we even went further to say, in the next 5 years, we must produce at least 500,000 jobs. And that will mean we have to spend in the next 5 years 85 billion in those programs. So I wouldn't have my own priorities, but those are my priorities as articulated in SWAPO election manifesto. For me, it's just to ensure implementation, and I know we are going to work as a team, as party leaders, to see how the programs are carried out, and of course also to impress upon our civil servants to ensure that they perform what is expected.
The other issue, you spoke about fishing industry. There were challenges previously. And the other second issue is that there are reports that you intend to reduce cabinet. Can you respond to those two issues? How are you going to handle this matter to ensure that it doesn't happen again, but secondly, action is taken? And lastly, the issue of cabinet. Is it true you're going to reduce cabinet?
Yeah, the challenges in terms of the fishing industry has been challenged, has been there since our independence. I tell you, as a first Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have to deal with some countries who were stealing our fish. That was a challenge. But we then put in place mechanism, laws, and systems to protect our fish. And it has done a commendable job to us until the case that surfaced in 2019, which is known in this country as fish rot. That's really unfortunate. It had happened. The case is still going on. We have some ministers who are still in prison, but we have started really to work hard to revive the fishing industry, for it to play its role in the Namibian economy. On the issue of the size of the cabinet, I still have 2-3 days to form this cabinet, and I'm looking at so many things which will be able to tell me that should I reduce cabinet, should it remain as it is, or should I increase it? But definitely all the analysis that I'm busy doing now, they will give me the results. And people of Namibia, people of the region, they will be able to know as to what has been the outcome of my analysis of the situation, as to how best I can really carry out the mandate given to me by the party and by the people of Namibia who have elected me, because it has also to be made clear that from now, even the SWAPO party members, they will know Netumbo is a president of all Namibians. And that is what I'm looking at. And then I'll determine the size of the cabinet.
The elections were challenged. How are you going to ensure that you really unite the Namibians, as you indicated, because that will be critical as a head of state for all the Namibians?
Yes, you are dealing with individual human being, and individual human being, they do not comprehend things at the same time, but that does not mean you cannot do what your conscience is telling you. Definitely in Namibia, unity is very important. And I will keep appealing to the Namibians. And as Namibians, we will be all serving our country.